When I ask practice administrators why they haven't moved off their legacy dictation tool, the answer is almost always these three words. It works fine. Fine is doing a lot of work in that sentence. Because when you actually add up what these tools put providers through, the voice training on every new workstation, the IT ticket every time a machine gets reimaged, the accuracy that collapses the second the room gets loud, the customization request that sits in queues for weeks, fine actually starts looking a lot more like tolerating something you've stopped questioning. Fine is the most expensive word in clinical operations. I'm Asrin, this is Private Practice Secrets. In this episode, I'll be talking about dictation, what an AI native actually looks like, why the gap is bigger than most practices realize, and how to evaluate a replacement without getting burned. Here's what fine looks like at scale. Legacy dictation was built to do one thing: turn speech into text. And it doesn't even do that reliably once you leave a quiet office. Put it in an ED, a busy ortho clinic, a hallway between rooms, and the accuracy just falls off. The software stops mid-sentence, it types on its own, it drops the word no out of a clinical sentence, which isn't a typo, it's a safety problem. So providers adapt around it. They slow down, they enunciate, they go back and clean up by hand. None of that shows up on an invoice, but all of it shows up in the workday. That's the cost of staying below the bar. Let me show you where the bar actually is. A modern dictation tool isn't just a transcription engine with a microphone on it. It's an AI layer. Here's what that should mean. And if a tool you're evaluating can't do these, it's legacy with a fresh coat of paint on top. Number one, it works on day one for any provider with no voice setup, and it holds up in a real noisy room. That's table stakes now, not a premium feature. So I'm not going to spend much time on this one. Two, and this is the big one, it should let you just talk. You trigger your note template, then dictate in natural monologue, and the tool figures out where everything goes. History in the history section, exam findings in the exam, assessment and plan in theirs, routed by what you actually said, not by you stopping to move cursor field by field. Good dictation adapts to how a clinician thinks out loud. It doesn't make the clinician think like a form. Number three, you should be able to structure and format by voice. Hands never leave the mic. Say, start a bullet list, and it starts a bullet list. Next field, new paragraph. The structure of the note shouldn't cost you a hand on the keyboard. 4, there should be a background layer, cleaning as you go. The punctuation, clinical formatting, shorthand. You say times 5 doses, it writes times 5. Not a cleanup pass at the end of the day. Live while you're still talking. You look back and the note reads better than you actually spoke it. Number 5, it should turn one dictation into more than one document. You already said everything. The tool should generate the patient instructions, the referral letter, the prior auth language out of that same dictated content without you redictating a word. Number 6, it should answer you in the moment. Mid-note, you should be able to ask, what's the dose? What's the ICD-10? What's on the differential? And get the answer inside the window without breaking out to a browser or losing your pace. And underneath all of it, it has to work anywhere your cursor is. Any EHR field, any browser form, a prior auth, a referral letter in Word. This matters most for procedural specialists, surgeons, ED, radiology, who generate a mountain of documentation that never comes out of a patient conversation. And AI can't capture an operative note or an imaging impression. Dictation is the right tool for all of it, and it has to work across every surface those providers touch. One last one. For whoever owns the rollout, it should be a deployment your IT team can actually manage. Silent install, push to every workstation at once, updates that ship automatically. If a vendor can't clear that bar, the burden doesn't disappear, it just changes logos. Now, the mistake I'm watching practices walk into right now is ambient AI is growing so fast, and the instinct is to evaluate it on its own, separate from the dictation. You end up with 2 vendors, 2 contracts, 2 logins, 2 systems that don't really know each other exists. And here's the problem. Every provider has a macro library. The phrases, the templates, refined over years to exactly how they document. If your dictation tool and your ambient tool don't share the library, your providers build and maintain it twice, forever. The right answer is one shared infrastructure, one macro library that follows the provider whether they're dictating an operative note or finishing a visit through ambient. One login, one interface. So here's the question I promised, the one to ask every ambient vendor you're talking to. Do you have a dictation offering on the same platform, sharing the same macro library? If the answer involves the word integration or it's on our roadmap, that's a no. Integration is not sharing. That's two products in a trench coat. The reframe I want you to leave with is you're not buying a dictation tool. You're deciding whether your documentation runs on one platform or three vendors stitched together. One action this week. Find your actual dictation renewal date. Not when you think it is, when it actually is. Most practices have less runway from what they assume, and the vendor is counting on that. You shouldn't be. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next episode of Private Practice Secrets.